Thomas Alexander Baker was a United States soldier who posthumously received the US military's highest decoration, the Medal of Honor, for his action in World War II during Battle of Saipan. In June 1944, the US Army embarked on the mission to drive off the Japanese forces from the Philippines, the Caroline Islands, Palulu Islands, and the Mariana Islands. The latter were marked as a top strategic priority since the conquest of those islands would put the US force within the range of an air offensive against Japan, and it would cut the communication between the headquarters of the Imperial Japanese Army and its troops positioned in the south and west. Saipan was chosen as a critical point of attack. The bombardment campaign of Saipan started on 13th of June 1944. 2 days later, the first troop landed on its soil. They were met with fierce resistance from the Japanese, who, although start-led, resolved the fight until the death. They were not the only ones to be so determined. However, 4 days into the battle, Thomas Baker was advancing ahead of his unit, part of the 27th Infantry Division, clearing his way for his comrade with a bazooka. Some days later, it's recorded he single-handedly attacked and neutralized 2 groups of heavily fortified enemy soldiers. By 7th July, the Japanese had nowhere to retreat, but they didn't want to surrender either. During the battle, Sergeant Baker's perimeter was attacked from 3 sides, and he was seriously wounded. Unwilling to quit, he kept firing at the enemy until he ran out of ammunition. Wounded and unarmed, he was carried by a comrade away from the front line. But when he himself got injured, Thomas Baker decided not to fight for his own life anymore and risk of the lives of others. Thus, he firmly insisted on being left on the field and be given a weapon. One of the retreating soldiers gave him a pistol with 8 rounds of ammo. He was last seen alive, propped against a tree, pistol in his hand, with a calm look on his face. His body was later found in the same position, with emptied gun and 8 more bodies of Japanese lying in front of him. Sergeant Baker was one of the 3 US soldiers who died that day and received the Medal of Honor posthumously for their self-sacrificing service. In November 2009, a memorial dedicated to him and 2 other soldiers was uncovered in their hometown of Troy, New York. One of them, Lieutenant William G. O'Brien, was among those who died on that very same day in Saipan and were given the Medal of Honor.